it's Dr. Hillary Hushower from Rangeline Chiropractic. I have a special guest with me today. Andrea Ballard is going to talk to us about breath work. So we're going to talk about breathing. Andrea's going to tell us a little bit about herself and how she got into this. So welcome, Andrea. So glad that you're on today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me on. I'm excited.
Well, tell us a little bit about you, and then how did you get into like breath work?
So my oldest is, I have 4 children. So my oldest is 21. And after I gave birth to her, I went through postpartum pretty bad. And back then it really wasn't talked about as much as it is in this day and age. And so unfortunately the experience I had was, oh, suck it up, you're fine type of thing. And so I really struggled a lot. And through that process in the first couple of months of her life, my mom took me to my first yoga class, and I just absolutely fell in love with it. It spoke to me, everything from the meditation, the physical practice, the breath work, all of it. And that's actually how I helped heal my body and my mind to come through a lot of that. So I'm a big proponent of prenatal yoga. That's one of my passions, to help moms to be with postpartum and looking for those signs and helping them with that as they take this journey to giving birth and so forth. So from there, I just fell in love with it, and I just started training. I've got 4 kids of my own, so I did a lot of yoga, a lot of breath work to help just through contractions and giving birth and things like that. And any of you that even have 1 kid, it's, sometimes it has its up and downs and its challenges. So the breath work has really helped me in those moments where I need guidance and be able to sometimes thoughtfully speak as opposed to just blurting out the first thing that comes out of my mouth. So it's really helped me over the years. And so I've been doing this. I got certified about 20 years ago and with the Yoga Alliance program. And now I'm an actual ERYT 500, which I train people to become teachers, whether it be in the asana practice, meditation, breath work, anything, prenatal, just kind of do it all. And so I've just been teaching full time, all different avenues where I can. So here we are.
a little bit of here, a little bit of there. That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. So
well, that was very interesting. Also, when someone thinks of like breath work, what would be something that would pop into their mind? Like, I could just see me commenting to patients like, hey, you should look into breath work, and then being like, well, what for? Why?
So I always tell people this especially when they first come to me, and I even periodically will remind people in my classes, is that somewhere along the lines between infancy and adulthood, we lose that breath work from the belly. So if you've ever seen a newborn sleep and peacefully they breathe from their belly or their diaphragm. And when you do that, and sometimes along the way as we get older, we kind of lose that and we chest breathe. So people, they hyperventilate or they type of thing, and they're not getting as much oxygen into the bloodstream and into the brain that helps, obviously calm them down, reduce, as we know, anxiety, stress, heart rates, blood pressure, and so forth. And so what this breath does, by breathing from the belly, I teach them how to bring themselves back to that infancy stage. And it's just a simple homework and understanding that, because that's the most important thing when I teach my classes. If we want to understand the breath work before we can understand the physical practice, because that's what we take off the mat into the world when we find ourselves in those challenging situations. And quite frankly, I know we've been going in a rather large challenge at the moment. And I know there's a lot of anxiety and stress going around. And so I've been doing a lot of breath work one-on-one with people just to reteach them how to breathe properly so that they can, go through life a little less stressed, hopefully a little less anxiety, a little tool in their tool belt, if you will.
I know. I think obviously the number one thing I've seen lately is stress, right?
Yeah.
Stress-induced neck and back issues, and they go, "Why do you think this is happening?" I go, stress."
And if you think about it, if we don't address that, with chiropractic care, with breath work, through yoga, whatever it is, that, as you know, in your trainings, is that it builds and builds and builds, and it turns into something bigger, whether it be an injury or a bigger health issue. So that's why I always like to try to address it as soon as we can, so we lay that foundational work and go on and have those tools for life, so to speak.
So literally the hundreds of patients I see a week, they all need you. That's what I'm getting at.
We all need each other.
It's like, raise your hand and press. first step is just admitting it. The next step is to work on it. So
it's a process.
I know. So you're going to teach us some things today, and I'm excited because I have no idea what you're going to teach. So I have not practiced at all, but I am a certified chest breather. So I think this will be good for me. So stress and anxiety, yes and yes. So check. I will take
it away.
Yeah.
So we're going to do 2 types of breath work that are very foundational, very beginner friendly, and they're good for, it doesn't matter what level of pranayama. In yoga, we call it pranayama. So in yoga, we have this sort of what's called an 8-limb path, and it's sort of these principles of life. And part of that is the breath work. And so the first one, like we were talking about, is just retraining ourselves how to breathe from the diaphragm, from the belly, so to speak. And when I teach it, basically, I just tell people to think of your belly like a balloon, right? And as you breathe in a moment, we'll do this together. It's like inflating a balloon. And then as you breathe out, it's like deflating a balloon. So you want to keep it very basic and very simple so that people remember those kind of buzzwords that they take off the mat. And I always have people find, a comfortable position, whether it be sitting, or on your back, somewhere where you can really focus on your breathing. And so let's just start with the diaphragmatic breathing. What it does is you're just going to basically bring your hands to your belly and just close your eyes. And I always tell people, just breathe how you would normally breathe first, just to sort of transition out of that thinking, kind of where am I going next, into this more feeling state, becoming more aware of your breath. So we've got our hands on either side of our navel on our belly, right? And we're talking about how it's like this balloon, just inflates and deflates. So when we diaphragmatically breathe, we're breathing in and out through the nose. So we want to just lightly close the lips. You don't have to pierce them, just lightly close them. And then think about that balloon, as you breathe in through the nose, just gently expand it. No need to force it. And once you reach that pinnacle of the inhale, when you're ready, exhale, just let the belly relax and breathe through the nose. Again, like you're deflating that balloon. Again, breathe in through the nose, lightly expand the belly. And when you're ready, breathe out through the nose and let the belly relax like a deflating balloon. So we just keep doing this for a few times. And I always tell people, even if you only have a moment to do 5 or 10 of these, sitting somewhere quietly, it changes the dynamics of the day. And over time, like anything that we practice, it becomes sort of like this autopilot thing that we do, but we're conscientious of it as well. So again, we breathe in, just gently expand the belly. We breathe out, let the belly relax. And you notice as you continue this, maybe the shoulders start to relax. Maybe you allow the tongue to fall away from the roof of the mouth, because sometimes that causes tension in the face. And it's just go ahead and open your eyes. And it's just very simple as that, understanding that. From there, we go and we build on that foundation to other breath work that we do.
Yeah, I feel like that, even just those few breaths, like I already felt more relaxed.
Yeah.
I felt my upper back relax and sitting so tight and rigid.
Yeah, and I always tell people, it doesn't have to be in a yoga class. I always encourage people to do it daily. Like if you're sitting in your car to go before you go into the store or to school to get your kids, like sometimes when I'd be picking up my kids when they were younger from school, I'd sit there and do 5 to 10 of them, or I'd time it, do a minute if you're one that likes to have it timed. You can do it anywhere, any place. And that's the beauty of it. All you got to do is close your eyes and take stock of it. And then you notice how you transition from that chest breathing down into the belly, right?
Yeah.
And it lowers your heart rate.
Yeah.
It can lower down your blood pressure, things like that.
Well, I encourage anyone who's watching this now or later, comment below if you found out that you do breathe in your chest more, and at the end of, 5 or 6 sessions, did you find yourself breathing out it, with your balloon more, I just find it really interesting. I think there'll be a lot of our hand raises underneath that. Like, realize we are like short breaths, gotta keep going.
Yeah, and I always encourage people, really pay attention to it, because you don't even realize it until you are like aware of it. It's kind of like, when you get a new car, you're looking for a new car, and say, I don't know, because I say that's on my brain right now, and we're looking for a new car, and say you're looking at a Honda Accord or something, and then all of a sudden when you start researching to do it, all of a sudden they start appearing everywhere. Same thing kind of with your breath. Once you become more aware of it, it's like all of a sudden it just kind of starts to appear, and it's just, it becomes natural. And you find yourself, you're walking around in much more of a relaxed state than this constant on the go, because we live in such a overscheduled society and life and so forth. And I kind of look at this pandemic from a positive aspect, is that it pulled us back to kind of give us a time out to realize what's important, who's important in our life, and take stock in that. And by, understanding that, we take a moment for ourselves. And just like I said, even taking 5 or 10 breaths, can just change the dynamics of the day.
Yeah, no, I agree 100% with you on that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you have any more tips for us as far as breathing and things we can do at home?
So another breath technique that I like to use, and I teach it a lot in my classes, is it's called, and it kind of correlates with the spine too. It's funny, when I was doing my research, I just, sometimes you just kind of forget about the meaning behind it because you've been doing it for so long. It's called alternate nostril breathing. And in yoga, we have a language called Sanskrit, and it's just a different form of a language. And in Sanskrit, if those of you that are familiar with breath work or yoga, it's called Nadi Shodhanam. And so we have these 3 principles of what are called nadis, and they're energy lines. And then it correlates with the spine. So the left side is called your Ida, and the right side is called your Pingala. And then the spine is called the Shushumana. And this is all, again, from a Sanskrit perspective. And so what we do with this alternate nostril breathing is that it helps bring balance to the right and left sides of not only our brain, but our body just in general. Because have you ever noticed, like, you dominate one side with your right side or your left side, or maybe you see patients when they come in, they might be kind of lopsided, like one hip's higher than the other. And so it's this mind-body connection. So with all the wonderful work that you do with those adjustments, with realigning the hips and so forth, or whatever it is, the breath work, again, that mind-body connection, they correlate together. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes. And this is one of my favorite practices. It was so funny. My 18-year-old just recently, she just found out, she got to Iowa and she's on their diving program, and they cut the program at 2 days before classes start. So we're going through all this drama. And one of the things I was so proud of is that she's like, Mom, because I check in with her, how you doing? She's like, you would be so proud of me, Mom. I'm doing my alternate nostril breathing, and it's really helping. And that's the cool thing as a teacher, when I hear stories, of students or clients coming to you going, it's still to this day, 20 some years later, it blows my mind how excited I get, like, wow, this stuff really works. So
No, I feel that way about chiropractic stuff all the time. Yeah. It's like, I know, it's going to work, but you're just like, that was so awesome. What the body can do, so amazing.
So again, we're going to do some alternate nostril breathing. Typically when you do this, when you start this, is you always want to start with your your dominant nostril. So when you're sitting quietly doing your diaphragmatic breath, you'll notice one dominant nostril over the other. And that's the one I always tell people to start with when they're doing it on their own. But for today, we're going to all work together on the same page. So you're going to take your right hand, you're going to take your peace fingers, and you're going to place them between your eyebrows, right? And so you were working with our thumb and ring finger with our nostrils. So what we're doing is we're going to close off the right nostril with our thumb. And you're coordinating it with that diaphragmatic breathing. So we breathe in through the left nostril, expand the belly. And then when you're ready, you breathe out through the left nostril, let the belly relax. Again, like that deflating balloon. Now close off the left nostril with your ring finger. Inhale through the right nostril slowly, expand the belly. And then exhale through the right nostril, let the belly relax. Let's do that again. Close off the right nostril with the thumb. Inhale through the left. And exhale through the left. Good. Close off the left nostril. Inhale through the right. And exhale through the right. Good. Let's do one more round. Close off the right nostril. Inhale through the left. And exhale through the left. One more time, close off the left nostril, inhale through the right, and exhale through the right. And just keep your eyes closed for a moment, just comfortably sit, take in the effects of that breath work. Usually spend a moment or two just kind of sitting with it, finding that balance organically. And I typically, go ahead and open your eyes, I typically tell people, do this as long as you need it until you find that, calm. typically what we did was 3 rounds, and I usually say somewhere between 3 and 10 rounds.
Okay.
Daily, every other day, whatever, whenever you really need it. Again, it's like this tool in your tool belt of life, right?
Mm-hmm.
That you can access whenever you want it.
Yeah, maybe not a cute tool for when you're at parties with friends or something, you know. But
I've been known to do it in the car while I've been driving sometimes.
Right. Well, that's totally fine. You don't know those people on the road.
I don't really care.
No. No, that was really cool. I've never done that. I definitely could see the difference, and I look forward to, as I use it more, would I notice that both sides become a little bit more equalized?
Yeah, over time, eventually. Obviously, anything you do in life, it takes time and it takes practice. This is a forever journey, life-changing practice. And so, the more you put into it, the more you get out of it, just like anything in life. So the more you do it, if you do it once here and there, yeah, you're going to see effects here and there, but on a regular basis, yes, you will see that nice balance between that right and left side energetically. You're not necessarily favoring, the right side of our brain is dominant in certain aspects of our life as opposed to the left side. You start to find that balance with it when, if say you're somebody who's sometimes, I'll freely admit, I can be a type A personality. I have a strong personality, if you will. And sometimes we speak before we think. Right? I've been known to do it. I'm guilty of it. But over the years, obviously with age and maturity and wisdom and this practice, I've learned to take a step back. And if I really am, angry about something, I will do some breath work and kind of take a step back before I can help find resolution to whatever the challenge is.
Yeah, that's good. No, I tend to be also type A. I just learned that a little word or meaning for type A is people are extra. I thought that was hilarious, and I was like, I am extra.
Yes, I am, and I'm proud of it.
People like my extra, they don't.
Well, and it's like I talk about too with this practice is that, when you're practicing, whether it be breath work, meditation, or yoga, you've got this spectrum. And on one end, you've got the flexibility, whether it be in the mind or the physical body. And then you've got the strength, whether, again, to be in the mind. And somewhere you want to find that balance, just like you do with your chiropractic care. So we bring that balance with, say you're just go, 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 go. We need to pull it back with the breath work and maybe more of a gentle practice, more meditation. And I've learned along the way over the years that it's all encompassing, and that you have to have it all in order to, build this, these life principles, these guidance, as we go through life and go through challenges and ebbs and flows of life, if you will.
Yeah, you're right. Well, that was wonderful. When we are done, Andrea, can you put a link to some information in case someone wants to get in touch with you or learn more, now that you've taught us some, like a couple basic intro things, which I think will take a while to master, but people need to reach out to you because you have a lot to offer. So
Thank you. I enjoy it.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming on here and teaching us these. I know I'm going to try to be more diligent practicing this every day. I might have to put a little sticky note up here for me. That way I can remember to breathe.
That's okay. Sometimes we just have to say breathe. I've got one in my car. Like sometimes you just got to remind ourselves to breathe, and that's okay.
Yeah. I feel like, doing this like every hour or so would be a very good adjunct to my day. So
and plus when people get home more, it's nice to get up and like, okay, let's take a moment and get up from your office desk and breathe or do some walking around exercise or whatever. So
yes. Thank you so much. This was so fun.
Thank you. Thank you.